G'day everyone, and welcome to another live stream for the Aussie Investing Machine. Thank you so much for joining me again in this episode. Really appreciate you all tuning in. As per usual, we've got a few stocks to go through today, some of the ones that people were requesting last live stream, last Wednesday. So yeah, we'll 100% get into those shortly. As always, if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask those at any point during the live stream. I hope this new 8 p.m. time slot works for everyone pretty well on a Sunday night. It certainly beats doing it in the morning, in my opinion. But yeah, welcome to the stream, and I can't wait to have a great conversation with everyone. So I'll probably get moving on into it pretty soon. I'll share my screen. Let me jump into this. Bear with me. Alrighty, so in this live stream, yes, we had a few companies to go through. The three in this episode will be Anteotech, Myfiziq, and FuelCell Energy. So we'll get to all those pretty shortly. Go through those stocks, and then as I said, if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask those at any time. I will get to everyone's question, so just let me know. So to kick things off, let's jump straight into it. Alrighty, so Anteotech I think was raised by one of the subscribers to the channel last Wednesday, and also in a previous live stream as well. Pretty interesting company, small market cap, and not really that well known at the moment. They have two main areas of focus. One is their energy segment, and the other is their life sciences segment. So in the energy segment, they're focused on battery technology, and they've got this coating which is aimed at improving the silicon content in batteries, which enables a whole host of different efficiencies within the battery tech. We'll get to that soon. In their life sciences segment, this is where I guess the company's really found some success recently. Their AnteoBind technology solves difficult assay development products, and assay meaning testing of a metal or ore to determine its ingredients. And this process is used in a lot of testing kits, and they've had some success with their COVID-19 testing kit. More on that soon as well. So in terms of their energy products, they've got their Generation 1 silicon composite was developed with the specific aim of demonstrating the ability to improve storage capacity in batteries. So testing has proved a 40% lift in the storage capacity of a battery anode, which is obviously a huge increase. And obviously there's a lot of potential here. This technology could really give electric vehicles and other uses of batteries that sort of efficiency and increase that we haven't really seen much of. Battery progression has been pretty slow, and this is promising a significant lift in battery anode capacity. So that's a real positive for the company, but it's not why they've sort of come across my desk at least, and certainly not why someone has mentioned them in a previous live stream. So here's a snapshot of their energy sort of process, however. So we can see this is, I guess, a timeline of where they're at. Starting in 2020 is when they're partnering with partners across the network, so battery producers, that kind of thing, in order to get this tech up and running and closer towards commercialization. So as I've said, they've done some testing, seen some good results. It's just jumping into this next stage in 2020/2021. So Life Sciences division is the one that I guess is the most interesting at the moment. Their point of care diagnostic market is stimulated to new levels. So point of care diagnostic is, I guess, assessing people who are sick to see whether or not they've got a particular disease. And this is due to the global COVID-19 pandemic. So developing a test kit which can distinguish COVID from flu types A and B has been their priority, and their test kit can give a 15-minute result. So obviously that's awesome. It's what people have been wanting for, if you're going into a large event or onto an aircraft, you can get a 15-minute test beforehand and you'll get that result instantly. I'm not sure if many of you have had a COVID test, but For me, it's taken upwards of 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours to get those test results. So a 15-minute test is a huge step forward, and I've got a feeling that we'll be living through this global challenge for quite some time still, and certainly the key to opening up borders again will be having these quick turnaround tests. So no wonder it's generated a lot of interest. King Kurian, how you doing? Good to see you on the stream. Thanks for joining us. Just jump on to the next one. So Anteotech was awarded up to $1.4 million from the Queensland government. This was for their COVID-19 test kit. They made an announcement of an agreement with the US Department of Defense and its Energy Use Authorization COVID-19 at-home tests. So they've got Australian government and US government interest in their product, which is awesome. In the US, they've partnered with a company called Ellume to produce the COVID-19 home test, which is the first non-prescription over-the-counter self-test authorized in the US by the FDA. So huge product release for them, really exciting for an Australian company to be involved in that. So yeah, awesome progress there for Anteotech. Currently, just looking at their financials, we can see they're cash positive, mainly due to government grants. So if we have a look at their cash flow, we can see year-to-date numbers look okay, but yeah, their staff costs alone are more than their cash receipts from customers. So that means they really need to build this quite quickly. And we can see this government grants and tax incentives is offsetting a lot of those costs. And in the current quarter, they've sort of got a net positive cash flow, which is good. But again, without those government grants, that wouldn't be the case. So they sort of need to, I think about 800,000. They need to improve their receipts from customers, and that's per quarter. So a little bit of a way to go, but I guess if they can get that battery tech off the ground, they could certainly be well on their way to achieving that. So off the hook, how you doing? Thanks for joining us tonight. Anteotech battery versus Magnis battery versus Quantumscape battery versus Tesla battery. Whose battery wins? I'm not sure that Anteotech is actually manufacturing a battery. I think they've got a technology that helps with the efficiency of the battery, and they're looking to partner with someone. So whether they partner with someone like Tesla, but I think Tesla uses Panasonic batteries, so it would be someone like Panasonic or Samsung or Sanyo in order to create a more efficient cell. I think that's the name of the game at the moment. So the next big announcement we see out of Anteotech in regards to the battery segment of the business will hopefully be a partnership with someone like that. So I think that's probably where it'll be heading. All right, having a look at the next company, which is Myfiziq. I've got just had their AGM presentation up. Gives you a bit of a snapshot about what they do. So Myfiziq, they quote Tim Cook here. Most of money in healthcare goes to the cases that weren't identified early enough. So the whole company's premise is to help identify health issues before they become a problem and need to be treated. So it's a preventative measure. Bit of a corporate overview, we'll get to that in a moment, but essentially they're all about advanced human imaging, which is in the method of a body scan, which you do with your smartphone. So you can see here the platforms. It's on iOS and Android. Patents in the following countries. No hardware required. Use the app, and then it uses a pool of data, and essentially you scan your body and it tells you whether, I guess essentially whether you're fat or skinny or whatever it might be. But yeah, it gives you the face scan, gives you vital signs, health indicators, health risks, and I think it also combines with your smartwatch if you've got one of those. You can see there are 3 different types of scans: body scan, face scan, and derma scan. So a whole host of potential here. There's an example of it being used. I've got the question of how accurate it might be, but certainly in combination with something like a smartwatch, you can see here there is this partner data and the wearables, which can feed the app more information, and perhaps, I'm not sure, perhaps it taps into your info that's already on your phone if you do have a smartwatch. But yeah, so that's a little bit about the company. You can see their segments they focus on. So fitness, obviously, and then the next big sector for them is the life and health insurance sector. So I'll just jump back into this. So they've got ongoing development of its mobile app. Software unlocks significant aspects of an individual's health, well-being, and chronic disease risk. And then they're also targeting those fitness and health insurance markets. MYQ has agreed to lend ban, which if we go back to that presentation, we can see it's actually listed as one of their partners. So if I scroll up, you can see here, ban. I've never heard of it. Personally, it says it's got 400,000 users here, but essentially it's a fitness app which pays you cash to work out. And the only thing I've seen like that in this country is AIA Vitality. If anyone's used that, you'll know AIA has an app and it links with you. You know, if you've got a fitness app, whether it's Google Fit or Fitbit or Apple Fitness, it essentially gives you rewards for staying healthy, and it can be in the form of like vouchers or flights and that sort of thing. AI is quite good, you know, even shopping discounts. And you might think, well, why would someone give me freebies essentially for staying fit and exercising? Well, AIA partners with healthcare companies. In fact, they offer their own health insurance. And the idea is if a health insurance company pays its members to stay fit, there's less chance that members will claim or use the insurance because they'll be healthier, they won't get sick, and therefore they're paying premiums that never really get utilized. And so that's the idea. So interesting sort of market to tap into there. If any of you have AIA Vitality, let me know. I'd love to, I'd love to know. King Kurian, pretty sure MYQ changed the name, do they? Yeah, okay. I just was looking it up today, so maybe that's the case, but certainly in that investor report, there's still Myfiziq, but yeah, it's not the best name, is it really? Evening, Krez, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. And let's see what else we've got here. So Myfiziq is lending Burn, so that fitness app we were looking at where they pay you to do exercise. They're lending them $500,000 in essentially what is a marketing exercise. So Ban has promised to deliver Myfiziq 1 million active monthly users within a year, or the loan is repayable with increasing interest. So that's a interesting marketing method. So essentially the way I think this will work is if you've got Ban as an app on your phone, it will say, you know, go and do a health check, download Myfiziq, and that will, you know, result in a subscriber to Myfiziq. But yeah, as I mentioned, Ban allows users to earn cash for working out. So similar to AIA, as we spoke about. So the pathway to profitability for Myfiziq remains unclear. They're certainly not trending towards profit, and their current ratio is only 0.6, so it's pretty low. Not sure how long their cash runway is. They're certainly going to need to see some subscribers converting. I'm actually not even sure how they plan on generating revenue, whether or not this is a pay per use app. I really don't know. It wasn't particularly clear in their investor report. If I did do a full depth analysis into this company, this would be something you'd want to look at to see how they actually plan on generating profit. So, and I'm expecting ongoing equity raising exercises because of that low current ratio, which means you'll get share dilution, and that will really soften the stock price. So, we'd want to see some. I mean, Ban's okay as a partner, but you probably want to see some more major ones, maybe partnering with like a Google or an Apple or a Fitbit would be the way to go. Nothing really stands out for me too much with this company. It's a great idea, but I think we're yet to see it materialize. And the fact that they're having to pay another company to generate subscribers is not necessarily a good thing. They're not relying on organic growth. So a few warning signs there. I'd like to know your thoughts though. Have you invested in Myfiziq? Let me know. So we'll move on to the next company now, which is FuelCell Energy. And this is a really interesting company. We've spoken about Plug Power in the past. We've spoken about Hazer Group, the Australian hydrogen producer, who's aiming to use biogas or LPG to produce their hydrogen. So FuelCell is another entity in the US, and they're engaged in designing, manufacturing, installing, and operating fuel cell power solutions. Having some great growth. Their revenue's gone up 17% in FY 2020, which is awesome. The loss from operations improved, so they are at a loss at the moment, but it's obviously half of what it was this time last year. So everything's trending in the right direction. We can see this graph down the bottom. They're very close to profitability. It could be in 2021 if things go well. So that's exciting. Their operations. So this is a snapshot of what they do at the moment, and what I like about the company is that they've got a sort of mix of different things that they're focused on. It's not just hydrogen production, which at the moment is not necessarily in demand. So the operations are distributed generation. So this is grid works, essentially infrastructure. Distributed hydrogen. So this is hydrogen facilities, hydrogen and energy storage facilities, and then carbon capture. So they're working with ExxonMobil. So this is I guess the transition. While hydrogen is gaining momentum, there's going to be a transition away from traditional fossil fuels, and so they're invested in that as well, which is a positive. I think they're sort of recognizing that hydrogen still has quite a way to go, and they're, as a result, looking into carbon capture, which is going to be a way a lot of businesses transition towards becoming fully, renewable and green. So they've outlined their FY22 targets as well, and I really like this in companies when they give us some strong guidance on where they think they'll be. So by FY 2022, they look to grow their portfolio by 100%. They're looking at double-digit compounding annual growth rate in terms of revenue, and then they're looking at positive EBITDA, which may not be profitable, but it's close. That's their underlying profit before tax deductions and all those kinds of things. So that's their target for profitability. You might see real profitability in 2023, but at least they're setting a target, and investors can set an expectation in their mind, and the company can try and deliver on that. So next slide. So revenue 2019 versus 2020. So we can see here their I guess what product divisions have been generating their revenue. So down the bottom is 2019. You can see their product segment, which I'm not exactly sure, and I struggled to find some information on what this is, but by the image it's looks like hardware for me. That's now gone, just doesn't exist anymore, not making up any revenue. Hydrogen generation has increased by 5%, so that's going up slowly. Advanced technologies has also had a boost of about 4%. I think that must be designing the systems that are used in hydrogen generation. And then their service and license has dropped, so quite considerably, so less infrastructure works. So that's a bit of a mix, but it shows you, a good idea of where they're going, what they've moved on from. So their product line is no longer there, and obviously generation's gone up the most in terms of percentage gain. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes in 2021 as well. Kurian, FCEL share price has done really well recently. Yeah, it's been really consistent. If we have a look at that just for a second. So we look at it over the past year, it's had a solid run up. It's steep, but it's not, there's no vertical sort of growth points where you sort of think this can't be sustainable. It's been a nice linear run up, and I think it might be due to the fact they lay out the information so clearly. They've got clear targets for profitability, and they're currently earning revenue from what they're doing. So potentially that's the reason behind this. It'd be good to see a comparison to maybe Plug, I guess, to see how they compare in terms of value. We can see Plug Power's year, they've had that sort of vertical rise and then a consolidation. It hasn't really moved since then. Without looking into it, I couldn't tell you which company was better value. Perhaps if I do maybe a comparison video on this, if you'd like to see that, let me know. So yeah, they both had some massive gains though, that's for sure. But yeah, FuelCell looks like a solid company, and I'm really impressed with their sort of the different segments they're operating in. They're not just trying to do generation, or they're not just trying to build the technology to convert whatever the catalyst might be to hydrogen. So see if I've got another slide left on this one. No, that's the end of the presentation. So fire away if you've got any questions. Django, how you doing? Nice to see you on the live stream. You can compare plug and FCEL. Oh yeah, cool. Well, let me jump into that. We'll do that. Compare tab. Can't see it, mate. Yeah, well, I'll probably do, maybe for next live stream, I'll prepare a bit of a comparison on the two. Yeah, okay. Let me know where that compare tab is. That's really interesting. I guess Google gives you a snapshot of the financials sometimes. I'll see if this, yeah, unfortunately I can't get that to work, but yeah, let me know how to do that, and I'll definitely check that out next live stream. I think a comparison between plug and FuelCell would be really cool. ADV, let's have a look at them. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. ADV, ASX. Okay, little micro stock here. What do they do? So, haven't heard of them before. So they've got a gold project. Yeah, okay, so in Canada. Anything that stands out for you, Yaya, about this one? Certainly haven't heard of them myself. Really cheap stock, obviously. Not that that's really relevant, but yeah, do you have any insight you'd like to share with everyone? Please let me know. The Bull Shepherd, thanks for joining us, mate. Go into finance and then compare. Oh yeah, let's check that out. See if I can get that to work. Finance, yeah, cool. I'm with you now. Financials, compare. FuelCell. Yeah, okay, so there's the stock price of the two. We're still seeing these huge increases. FuelCell's done better, obviously. We've seen that really consistent growth. Both started at a similar base, sort of here around, yeah, 13th of November. So that's not that long ago, hey. I've had a massive run up. Any other financials? Doesn't give you too much on the comparison tab other than the stock price. Employees, yeah, but that's not that interesting. Market cap, so obviously Plug Power is a much bigger company, or has a much bigger market cap. Doesn't necessarily mean their operations are any bigger, but yeah, double the employees, you know, triple, almost quadruple the market cap. So, but yeah, we can see that FuelCell's had a better run up, certainly a better return. So interesting. But yeah, it's not a bad little tool, but yeah, it doesn't give you too much information. If you do know a good stock comparison website, let me know, because that would be really interesting. Finance tab, you can search. Yeah, cool. Eventually, they're tier 1 gold mines. They have land with lithium also in Canada. Yeah, okay, interesting. I've noticed that a lot of the lithium miners, they sort of they talk a lot about the quality of the lithium that they've got, and that's a really important component. And then also what type of lithium, whether it's mined or whether it's that type of lithium extracted from brine. I know there's a technical term for it. It might be spodumene or something like that. But yeah, that comes into it. And I think we've discussed before that those lithium miners who can essentially do it in a clean and green way, that's going to be the way forward. And I think that's something on my list to do, is to go through all of the miners and see which ones are mining not only lithium but sort of copper, nickel, and those sorts of resources which are used extensively in EVs, and see which ones have a plan for green extraction. And we know definitely Vulcan Energy does, and that's why they've had that massive price run up. They're sitting on a geothermal mass where they're proposed mine is. So that's going to allow them to generate electricity to power the mine, but also sell electricity back to the grid. So that's why Vulcan's got such a compelling story. Yeah, if they've got something like that, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, there's heaps of lithium players out there, and heaps of good gold miners as well, which are established and I guess convincing to invest in. If there's something that convinces you about that company, let me know for sure. King Kurian, thoughts on Crow? Let's have a look. I've seen a lot of chat about Crow, but I've never really looked into him. A lot of very popular on the day trading scene. Look at this. Back in 2003, they were $22. Just have a quick look at what they do. So, we're in the finance tab. So they're a transaction services business supplying industries, B2B payments, digital trading software and integrated solutions. The goal is to convert ETF payments to card payments. Interesting. Wonder how they plan to do that. Is it like a Visa MasterCard competitor? BPSB engagement. Okay. Partners, so Xero, that's a major partner in my own business as well. Interesting. One to have a look at, I guess. I haven't dug too much into this business at all. I've definitely seen it talked about a lot. A lot of people posting on Facebook and that sort of thing about CRO going up like a rocket ship. I think it's been pretty up and down, but certainly, yeah, very cheap stock, small market cap. So it'd be interesting to see what their relationship with Xero is, especially. It's interesting that such a small company has a partnership with Xero. There must be something decent with their technology, but it's one I'd have to have a look into. If you'd like me to check that out for next stream, next live stream on Wednesday, I'm definitely happy to do that. So yeah, let me know. Yeah, okay, so cool. That's in regards to, what was their name? ADV, yeah, ADV ASX. So yeah, I mean that's the key driver for me with those miners, is looking for that. Yeah, so good quality deposit, and then that potential green extraction method. So what else have we got? Anybody else got any questions on stocks coming up? Send them through now. Otherwise, I think we might be pretty close to wrapping this one up. If you've enjoyed the Sunday night time slot, let me know. It's a little bit quiet, but yeah. King Kurian, I'm liking the renewable sustainable ETFs. So QLCN, have a look at those guys. Global Clean Energy, yeah, okay, so PBW. Clean Energy, yeah. They've all done very well. I mean, it all started with the ethical ETF. I mean, who's that by? Which is similar. The beta shares ethicals had a massive run. Most of these stocks have done really well, and sort of at the expense of some of the oil, gas, and coal stocks. Just see what their sustainability leaders. I think ethical ETFs. We'll try this one and just see how their price movement's been. So yeah, I mean, look at that. That's textbook price movement. That's awesome. So start of 2020, $9, now at 11. Not bad growth. Sort of that 15% mark. So be interesting to see as well what their top holdings are. Have a look at the fact sheet. So it looks like, here you go. Top 10 exposures in terms of ethical. This is an ethical sustainability leaders. And they've got Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, MasterCard, Visa. This just looks like the S&P 500 to me. Certainly Apple with their Foxconn factories in China. I'm not sure how ethical they are. Yeah, interesting sort of mix there, that's for sure. It just looks like some of the top performing growth US stocks. So not sure how exactly their criteria is met, but yeah, certainly some good companies in there, but not exactly sure how they're more ethical than others. They're certainly not focused on renewables or sustainability, so perhaps that's different in different ETFs, but yeah, it doesn't look to be anything out of the ordinary there. Yaya, what are your top stocks coming up? Well, I'm about to do a bit of a portfolio rebalance personally. I've got a video coming out on that maybe tomorrow, selling some shares that have been underperforming and picking some new ones. So I've got a little bit in mind. I think definitely picking up some US stocks. A couple of those have really been interesting me. In terms of the ASX, there's always value there. Just last week I purchased Cochlear, pronouncing that right. I'll show you those guys. So they make the cochlear implant, which is a hearing device. It's a medical implant that goes into the skull, and then that helps. There's a magnetic connector that connects to a device that goes on the side of your head. It's for people who are hard of hearing or deaf, and that connects to a nerve inside the brain and allows people to hear. So it's been around for years. I remember seeing kids at school with them when I was growing up in primary school. It's a big primary school, but it was sort of friendly to deaf kids. It was like how do I word this correctly? The school had facilities for children who were hard of hearing. So there was a small cohort at the school who had difficulty with hearing, and a lot of those kids had cochlear implants, and this is years ago. As you can see, founded in 1981, really pioneering technology. They've had a lot of issues over IP being stolen, but if you look at their sort of growth over the run, it's been incredible. They've had massive run-ups all over, and just continue to boost. And at the moment, their peak was 230, almost 240, and now they're trading at 208. They had a bit of a rough year in 2020, which is understandable because elective surgeries were not, you couldn't get elective surgeries because the hospitals had to be reserved because of the conditions throughout 2020. But I think when those elective surgeries resume, the company should get straight back on track. There is a threat of global competition, but they have about 60% of the market. So it's definitely an ASX blue chip growth stock. Do they have growth left? I certainly believe they do. So that's what I've invested in last week. It's not a stock recommendation. Nothing on this channel is. Of course, do your own research, but this is one that was good for me. So that's the next one I'm adding to the portfolio. So that's a little insight. I've got a video coming out on that, but yeah, ETHI, 100%. But is that the one we just looked at with, sort of like Apple, PayPal, MasterCard? I think if it is, you might be better off to go and invest in those stocks individually. But is there a reason that you're interested in that instead of going into those individuals? If there is, let me know. Or perhaps that's a different one that has a different set of holdings. Let me know. Yeah, have a look at PPK. I will do that. So PPK, let's have a look. Haven't heard of them. Very, very, oh no, they're not too small. $500 million. Not a bad run. Let's have a look. What do they do? There's design, manufacture, service, support, and distribution of coal tram and underground diesel vehicles. Oh, cool. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if you've seen some of these mining vehicles that, I'm not sure if PPK produces them, but they've got these like little diesel trucks that have essentially shields on top of them, and they drive into the mine as it's being excavated, and then the shields push the the dirt so that they can install, concrete reinforcement to stop the mine from collapsing. If this is what these guys do, then that is awesome. They're really specialist vehicles, and obviously the mining industry is not slowing down. The mining's not going to stop. Coal mining might, but certainly iron ore, nickel, copper, lithium. There's going to be a massive need for these vehicles, and I'm not worried that the fact that they say they're diesel vehicles, because we all know that the pathway for clean diesel vehicles is to switch to hydrogen if electric's not possible. Yeah, really cool. Okay, well, maybe that's one to look into. I'll definitely note them down. Thanks for that suggestion. It's a really cool company. So PPK will be on Wednesday's live stream. Thanks for mentioning that one. That's awesome. Definitely check that out. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, we also always need electricity to charge the batteries. Yeah, we certainly do. That is for sure. The stocks I sell are the stocks that always jump not many days after. Yeah. Learn to hold. Yeah, have a look. If you're not using technical indicators to help with your investing and certainly help to advise your buying and selling timing, definitely have a look into that. If you check out my Skillshare class, I do a section on technical analysis and how I use that to help me pick entry and exit points for stocks. So that's in the description of most of my videos. So yeah, go and check that out. It might help. Otherwise, there's plenty of other resources on YouTube for that sort of thing as well. So they can be really helpful to see where momentum's going and what sort of volume of trades there is, and whether or not how far above the moving average you are. And there's lots of good info there. So yeah, go and check that out. It might help your luck, that's for sure. PPK are going to spin off the mining division. Yeah, okay. Because it said, I think in that description, it says they've also commercializing Deakin Uni's patented boron nitride nanotubes. Not sure what those are. Manufacturing technology and the management of debt and equity investments. So big shift. That's a total pivot for the company, and a total pivot can be good or bad. I'd need to look into it. Is it this Deakin University technology that you're interested in, Matt? Let me know. But yeah, that also sounds interesting. The diesel is cool though. The diesel mining cars are cool. So yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I think that might be all for tonight. Thanks so much for joining me on this one. If you've got any more questions, please save those until Wednesday night. We'll do another live stream then at 8 o'clock. Hopefully get a video out for you maybe tomorrow or on Tuesday showing an update on my portfolio, and then as we spoke about that purchase I made late last week. I hope everyone has had a good time. A little bit shorter tonight, but that's okay. The Sunday's a new time slot. Again, thanks everyone for jumping in with your comments. I really appreciate those, and it's a great way that I become aware of new stocks that I haven't heard of before. So thanks for that. I hope you enjoyed it, and I think until next time, I'll see you on Wednesday night. Yeah, look out for that video coming out tomorrow. Appreciate all your support. Thanks very much, guys.